Alright, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video. Am I wearing the same clothes as yesterday? Yes, because that's how much I have been playing and not really paying attention to what I look like or anything else other than some work, most of that work involving writing about Witch Queen. Uh, I really can't help myself. Today I wanted to make a video about Witch Queen campaign story spoilers, given how much is jammed into here. And it relates to all the stuff we've been talking about and predicting and things like that for weeks and weeks and weeks, if not months, if not years. And I know everyone is going to be finishing at their own pace, but if you're just kind of grinding out hardcore, you probably can finish, at least the base campaign today or tomorrow, depending on if you're doing normal or legendary, or depending how good you are at doing legendary. As I said before, I did normal. I did finish in a day. I think there were about 10 total missions that are all pretty sizable, and they are much harder on legendary, so that's why I opted to skip that for now. So today I wanted to talk about kind of the story developments through the end of the campaign, and then also including the Parasite exotic quests for the grenade launcher and with the worm launching thing, because I just finished that, and that's probably one of the first things you'll do right after finishing the campaign. That will be at the end if you haven't gotten there yet. Obviously, just giant spoiler warnings for the whole campaign. I think that's pretty clear from the title and thumbnail, probably. But you can always come back to this video later on after you finish the story if you want to kind of discuss things, because I haven't seen too many people talking openly about this. Obviously, no one wants to talk on social media about this and spoil everything, other than idiot people pulling things from data mines and just posting things without context. If you just are reading like dialogue lines, you're going to miss a ton of stuff. So I would not base your kind of lore and things on that based on just what you've seen in data mines. There's a lot more kind of to it than that. I'll try and go just in order here in terms of the various reveals and the things that Bungie was keeping hidden. First of all, we meet a character that was not teased at all during any of the Witch Queen promotional materials, and that is a hive ghost named Finch with a Y. Or Flynn? No, I think it's Finch. I think it's Finch. Where this, I said on Twitter that I just came to a part that made me laugh, and the first time I laughed was when you meet him and then his title is Conscientious Objector. I just thought that was very funny. I also think it's very funny that he's just sitting there next to a hive acolyte that he refuses to revive, who's just dead. That's very funny to me. His character is like a little annoying, and like I was like, why are we trusting this random hive ghost? But like he actually doesn't do anything harmful throughout the campaign. He's literally just kind of our. I think of him as kind of like your partner in a detective case. He has that kind of like gumshoe, attitude kind of thing. If we're looking at this as kind of a mystery. Early on, in about the second, I talked about this yesterday. In about the second mission, he reveals that the ghosts that have revived the hive and have done so willingly, like these were ghosts that were not attached to guardians that decided to join the hive willingly. He disagrees with this and objects to it and thinks it's bad, which is why he's helping us try and stop Savathun. But this does correlate with lore that we learned right before this, that ghosts kind of have their own free will and have pitied the hive because they believe the hive were kind of tricked by darkness into taking the worm, and they feel bad for them, so they are potentially, it said before this, they were potentially open to sympathizing with the hive, and turns out that's kind of what happened. That is not really the full mystery of why Savathun has the light, though it's related to it. We'll get to that later. So pretty much the main gist of the story campaign is us trying to find out Savathun's plan by going through different relics and kind of taking those relics to a memory altar, which shows us a memory from Savathun's past and reveals kind of different parts of her plan, or what we think is her plan. Ultimately, we learn, close to about halfway through, that the main idea is that Savathun is trying to tap into a power greater than the power to take, and to essentially give, to move things between worlds. And her plan, that she says, is in order to protect the Traveler, she is going to transport the Traveler away from Earth and into her throne world, where it can be kept safe from the darkness. I'm not 100% sure this plan makes sense, given that the darkness is like constantly invading Savathun's throne world, and it doesn't seem especially safe there. Like, there's more darkness presence in Savathun's throne world than I've seen in our actual galaxy or solar system. So I'm not quite sure about the logic there, but that is her plan. We do not like this plan because we believe that once the Traveler is taken to the throne world and sealed away, that we will no longer have the light as guardians. So that is a big problem. So we are trying to kind of disrupt Savathun's plans once we kind of discover that that is her plan, although we still don't know exactly how she got the light. We eventually find out in what I think is the best moment of the story campaign through a cutscene that one of my previous predictions did actually pan out. And Savathun got the light because the Traveler gave her the light. This is revealed in one of the final memories where we get a chunk from the crystal that Savathun was trapped in, which was apparently like lodged in her after she broke out, and she was mortal. She was very injured, and she kind of limped her way to the last city and like prostrated herself before the Traveler, and essentially took a gamble that if she pledged kind of devotion to the Traveler, and the Traveler could read her intentions to help protect it, that it would reward her. And there's these lines about like how bravery inspires devotion, devotion inspires sacrifice, and sacrifice inspires, well, turns out sacrifice inspires getting resurrected by a ghost. So Savathun does die in this cutscene, and then a ghost comes and revives her. And it turns out what we've been doing this whole time is using the power of darkness in order to restore Savathun's memories after she got the light, in order to kind of clue her in as to what her original plan was, because she forgot. So this was the kind of the plan that she set up before all this, and the big gamble was whether or not the Traveler would play along, which he did. Needless to say, the Vanguard and the other Guardians of the Tower are not happy about this. They start questioning, like, is the Traveler infallible? Like, why would he do this? Why would he give the light to our worst enemy? And Ikora's like, whatever, it doesn't even matter, really. There's just, nothing we can do about it, but we still have to stop her from stealing the Traveler, because that's bad, and we have to look out for ourselves, for humanity, regardless of what the Traveler's doing. And we need the light to protect ourselves, whether or not the Traveler is doing stupid things or not. So we have to stop the ritual. What happens then is ultimately we learn one final fact from Savathun's worm familiar, which is the original worm that she had housed in her from the darkness that even Savathun doesn't know. And this is another huge reveal where back on Fundament, there was a situation where the Traveler visited Fundament, and the Hive have always been told that the Traveler never came to Fundament, and their only option for survival to escape some sort of pending calamity was to turn to the deep, to turn to the darkness, to accept the darkness and their worms in order to survive. This, it turns out, was orchestrated by the Witness, which is the voice in the darkness. Still not 100% sure if it is just a servant of the darkness or literally like the big boss of the darkness. It is described later on as the voice of the darkness. So again, I'm not clear on the hierarchy there, but the Witness is like the kind of new big bad that we are hearing about here. I'll go into the Witness in a minute. But and then the idea is that Savathun never knew this, and then we reveal this to Savathun in the final fight sequence, kind of showing her the memory as she's trying to cast the spell to block the Traveler away. And this is the first time we've seen her kind of surprised and caught off guard, because she does not know that she was tricked to this degree. There's a voiceover of the darkness like saying that they're going to fool the most cunning one, and they're going to get Savathun to lead her siblings down into the deep and then essentially erase the memories that the Traveler was ever there. And so this really throws Savathun for a loop. Like, not that Savathun is even serving the darkness now, but she never realized they were like tricked to this degree. Apparently the ghosts realized this before Savathun did, which is interesting. But so she's thrown off guard, and then we fight Savathun and kill Savathun and kill Savathun. Okay. So one of my predictions was that we would not end this campaign killing Savathun, and that we would end up allied with her against the darkness. Now everyone's like, oh, she's dead. You were wrong. Okay, I'm not willing to concede defeat on this one yet. Very important part of the last bit of this here is that Savathun's ghost, Imaru, I think its name is, escapes. So if you have a dead body that is Savathun, you have Savathun's ghost still rolling around. All she needs is a res. Girl just needs a res. So I can foresee a scenario. I don't know if it'll be this season or later in the quest line or whatever, where we're like, oh crap, actually we need Savathun because the darkness is about to wipe us all out, and Savathun has weapons and knowledge that can help us, and she has proven that, or the travelers wanted her revived and has proven that she wants to fight against the darkness, so we actually need her. And then so she is resurrected either by her ghost or through other means or whatever. Already in the post-story campaign, we have some missions that are additional memories from Savathun that she has arranged for us to see after her death, like in the wake of her death. Like there's voiceover lines from her. So that is continuing to go here. I just don't know why they would have purposefully saved her ghost if they weren't trying to leave the door open for her to return. I guess this is sort of a similar like Aramis is frozen in place thing and she's going to come back someday, which she never did. But this is Savathun, and while I don't think this is like a trick, like, that's a fake body and she teleported somewhere else or something, I do think they have really left the possibility open for her to return to the story. Again, no idea if that's going to be like the end of, the raid, or it could be anything. So, and then that leads into, one final set of reveals, which is we finally get a look. Well, we got a name, first of all, the Witness. We get a look at the Witness, the harbinger of darkness, the personification of darkness, the servant of darkness, the voice in the darkness. Like, again, it is kind of hard to qualify what his exact role is in terms of if he's serving something larger or if he's the big boss. I don't think he's the big boss. Best bet right now, I would think, is maybe he's the raid boss, but I'm also not willing to rule out something different like Xivu Arath, or Xivu Arath is actually not mentioned at all pretty much in this campaign. Like, I mean, barely ever. Like, there's like one story mission where you go to Xivu Arath's tribute temple, but Xivu Arath is really not mentioned. Because this is in a pyramid, you would think maybe we'd be fighting the Witness, but I'm also not. Again, if this is a Scorn raid, maybe it's some giant Scorn boss that's some disciple of the darkness or something. I don't know. I can't say that for sure. We do see his face. This is the one part of the entire campaign that I didn't love. Like, well, the implications of this scene are crazy, and like all of the, so many, we have tons of missions like inside pyramids, and like now this entity is like coming for us. So like I liked the figure walking forward with the smoke pouring out of his head. Like, that was a really, really cool image. But when he turns around and you see his face, he looks very like cartoony with these very large eyes, and it's just a very, very strange, like, it's not like a menacing character design or like intimidating. It's just like it lands a little goofy for me, like a little cartoony or like a Furby, or I don't know. It just, that was one reveal where, like, as happy as I am to see the Witness and see, essentially a new race for the first time in Destiny history, more or less, that reveal was a little odd, and I do not really love that character design. Obviously, we will see if we see any more from the Witness with the raid or future quests and things like that. But if we're building the Lightfall, I imagine the Witness is going to be a huge part of that expansion, and we will spend the next year doing Witness adjacent things, is my guess. Finally, we will move to the final segment here about the Parasite quest. This is like, it's actually a pretty funny quest because the whole thing is about Mara and Savathun's old worm that infested her, and the worm talks and has like a really weird voice and is like an old grandma or something. And her Mara says that she will host the worm in exchange for information the worm has about the darkness and the collapse. And we're all like, Mara, that's a terrible idea. And she's like, trust me. And you go through this whole quest. I just wrote a guide for it. And then in the end, the host that's hosting the worm is a grenade launcher, Parasite. The worm is not thrilled about this, but because the alternative is us just murdering the worm, he does tell us something ridiculously important, probably one of the biggest lore reveals in Destiny history, that it wasn't so. Back when the collapse happened. The collapse is this big mysterious event on Earth that no one really knows exactly what happened, other than, Earth was in a golden age of civilization, and the collapse happened. Almost everyone died. The Awoken were created, and then the Traveler allegedly saved us or whatever, and then whoever caused the collapse left. We now know not only the Witness was there causing the collapse, but Savathun was there too. And Savathun was working for the Witness back then. However, the worm reveals that the reason the collapse stopped, or that the Witness left, is that Savathun, so the Witness was turning its attentions toward the Traveler itself. Then Savathun stepped in and wove some sort of deception. We don't exactly know the details of this, but did some lie, did some illusion or deception to convince maybe the Witness that the Traveler had died or was gone or something, and then so the Witness left and went back out to the stars, which is, with all its pyramids and things. And so it was, in fact, Savathun that ended up saving humanity, or is the reason that humanity survived. The worm says that she did this to save the Traveler, not to save humanity. And so this could be one of the reasons that the Traveler is willing to resurrect her, because of what she did back then. That could be, certainly plausible. It's probably more than, a lot of people have done for the Traveler. But so that was a big reveal there. And then I'm assuming what happened was Savathun was masking that the Traveler was there or something. And then what did we do? I don't know, something about the Traveler awoke. I think was it the Gaul thing? I don't remember exactly when this happened, but the Traveler woke up, and then it was that end credits cutscene where we see the pyramids sense the Traveler is waking up, and then that's when the pyramids start coming back, because they're like, oh crap, the Traveler's actually still there. And I think that's why, I think Savathun is the reason they didn't know where the Traveler was for so long. So I think that is all very crazy. We still don't know a lot of details about the collapse and about what exactly transpired there, but the fact that it was Savathun who intervened and helped save humanity, or what was left of humanity, even if she was doing it to try and save the Traveler. I'm a little confused as to why she was trying to save the Traveler when at that point she didn't know the thing about how the Traveler had come to Fundament, and the darkness had just tricked her into ignoring the Traveler and taking the darkness instead. So I don't really know why she did that, but that may be something that is revealed in later things. So there's still a lot more story stuff to go. There's the whole seasonal stuff with Keitel and Saladin and Crow and whatever. Barely started that. There are these ongoing mysteries with the board where those lead to more Savathun memories. I've only done one of those so far, because the other two they're not exactly time locks, but actually as of 10 minutes ago, I can progress one of them because I needed the Wayfinder, whatever mission it's called, to switch over to defense mode, because that's one of the steps. Another one is I have to craft 2 weapons that I do not have patterns for yet. I think I have to level up the Throne World vendor more to get those. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think I'm not sure where those are leading. Those might lead to the exotic glaives or something, but there's a lot of story stuff in there too. There's a lot of lore scattered in the weapons and exotics and things, so there's plenty to go through there, but there's going to be plenty of time to talk about all this stuff in the next weeks and months here. But there was a ton. This is easily the most massive, significant reveals for Destiny universe lore ever, far and away. In addition to being a really great character study of Savathun herself, I thought they knocked that out of the park with examining her motivations and her plan and the central mystery and things. And I was so happy to see the Traveler resing her with the ghosts just voluntarily, and how mad everyone was about that. That was such a great moment. The Witness, I don't love the character design, but I am very excited about the character itself, and we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, that was so much enthusiasm about the story. I feel like I'm going to pass out. So thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon.